Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to Life Athlete by Sue. It's so great to have you back. I'm an exercise physiologist, health coach and master trainer, and my job today is to help you feel amazing in your body. Now, I've worked with many clients who've suffered from sciatica pain, so I completely appreciate the frustration and anxiety that comes with trying to find the correct exercises and stretches that you need to do to meet your needs. So look no further, I've made it super easy for all of you. This is part 2 of a 2-part series. So if you haven't already, hop out, check out part 1 because that's where I take you through all the stretching and mobilization work you need to do to make sure that you reap the benefits of part 2, which is what I'm going to take you through today. And today I'm going to show you all the best core exercises that you need to learn and practice consistently to make sure you can stabilize that spine and to get all the muscle groups firing correctly to help minimize the risk of future pain and injury. One more thing before we get started, and make sure you hit subscribe because I don't want you to miss out on all the tips, exercises and programs that I put up because I want you to stay strong in your body. So before we begin, I just want to say if you've got an exercise mat, you might want to use it because it'll make performing the exercises just a little bit more comfortable. If not, don't worry, you can use a carpet, that will just work as well. So we're going to start off by lying on our back and looking up towards the ceiling, and we're going to start with the mobilization exercise just to get our hips and lower back a bit more warmed up before we begin. And what we're going to do is we're going to practice our pelvic tilt. So all that is rotating our hips backwards and forwards. So a guide to do that is use your hand and place it under the curvature of your spine. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull our pelvis back towards the ground. So you're feeling a bit of pressure on your hand. And then we're going to release and rotate it the other way so there's no pressure on your hand. We're going to practice that 10 to 20 times, very slowly. Take your time as you do this because if you can get this right, it'll actually help with more control and stabilizing your hips in other exercises. So once you've performed about 10 to 20 of those, we're going to move on to the glute bridge. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our glutes to help drive our hips up towards the ceiling. And when we do this, we're going to stop at a point so our hips, knees and shoulders make one line. Now you want to work towards pain, but you don't want the exercise to cause pain. So if you're feeling a lot of discomfort doing this pose, drop your hips a little bit until you're feeling a little bit more comfortable. And as you get stronger and you want to progress, you want to be able to build up to your hips being in a straight line. So in this position, we're going to hold, we're going to feel our glutes engaging, our core engaging, and we want to be able to keep our hips in alignment. We don't want one side to be dropping or the other side. We want to keep it nice and stable. So we're going to lower and raise again for 10 to 20 repetitions. We want to perform this a total of 3 times. Now the way to progress this one is by introducing a march. So like I said earlier, keeping your hips nice and stable. We don't want it tilting. Keeping it stable, we want to just lift our leg up off the ground on each side. Now introducing a march, what that does is it actually creates a little bit more tension on either side of our abdominals. And this is what we really want to start building because one of the key muscle groups to help engaging and stabilizing the spine are the abdominals that sit on the lateral side of our torso, so our obliques. So performing a march will actually help engage the obliques a little bit more. Now, like the name suggests, we're going to be on all fours like a dog, and we're going to keep our spine in a neutral position. So what that means is we don't want excessive curvature or flexion in our spine. We want to keep it in a neutral plane. So a good way to visualize this is if I have a glass of water on my back, I want to be able to keep it there and not wobble so it falls off. So keeping that picture in mind, you want to then raise one arm and the opposing leg at the same time. So for example, I'm going to take my right arm and my left leg and I'm going to raise it up so it's meeting that horizontal plane and back down. We're going to do it to the other side as well and back down. Now, something to be mindful when we're doing this is A, keep that metaphorical glass of water on our back, but also we don't want to hyperextend our leg. We just want to keep it level in a horizontal plane. So again, we're going to practice this 10 to 20 times and we're going to repeat a total of 3 rounds. So from here, we're going to come and lie down on our stomach and we're going to do what's called the Superman. So exactly like the name suggests, we're going to have our arms out and our legs out flat, and we're going to basically just raise up, hold for a couple and come down. So you're basically mimicking a Superman pose. What you'll feel here is a strong firing of your lower back muscles. Again, we're going to do 10 to 20 repetitions and complete 3 rounds. And you should really feel the lower back engaging. Now we're going to go back on our back again. And what we're going to do is an exercise called the dead bug. So again, like the name suggests, what we're going to do is put our arms and legs up, like as if we're a dead bug. And we're going to alternate our arms and legs similar to when we were doing the bird dog. So with this one, we're going to use our right arm and left leg down, and we're going to bring it back up. Again, down and up with the opposing arm and leg and back up. Now, something to be mindful here is if you start to feel like there's too much tension or your lower back is catching a little bit, just don't lower your limbs too far down, because the further you go, the more tension you'll feel in your abdominal area. So if that's causing a little bit too much stress, just bring your leg and arm in a little bit. And as you get more strong and more confident with the movement, you can lower it further. So again, we want to just practice this 10 to 20 repetitions, and we're going to complete 3 rounds. Now, if you want to progress this and make it a little bit more advanced, what you want to do is you want to lower your arm and leg, and you want to hold this position for a couple of seconds, maybe up to 5, depending on how confident and strong you're feeling, depending on also your pain levels for the day, and back up. And you'll definitely feel that core firing the longer that you're holding that position. So now we're going to move into a modified side plank, and what that means is we're going to keep one knee bent. What I want to do is when we get into position, we want to make sure that our arm is sitting directly under our shoulder. And the reason being is if our arm is a little bit further out, when we raise our body weight, it's going to place a lot of tension on our shoulder joint, and we don't want to create more injuries. So be mindful that your arm is directly under the shoulder. You want to keep one leg bent, the one that's closest to the ground, and the leg on top, you want it to be straight out. So what you want to do here is you want to just raise your body weight, and you want to hold this position for about 15 to 20 seconds, and a little bit longer if you can hold that position. After that, just come back down, rest, and then do it again for the same time period, repeating 2 to 3 times. Now with this one, you'll feel your obliques, so the abdominal muscles on the outer aspect of your core firing. And like I demonstrated before, this is going to be really important to help stabilize the spine. I hope you found the exercises in this video really useful. Now remember, try part 1 first because it's super important that you lengthen, loosen and mobilize all the muscles and joints that are creating the pain in the first instance. Once you've done that, come here and perform these, and because you will be able to benefit much more from these strengthening exercises if you have done part 1 first. Now remember, consistency is the key, so make sure you practice as often as you can, ideally 2 to 3 times a week, because the more you perform this, the stronger you're going to feel in your body and you're going to minimize the risk of future pain and injury going forward. So turn on notifications, hit that subscribe button, and don't miss out on more of my videos, exercise tips and programs, because I want you to feel stronger in your body.